Hello, I'm Brett Knowles, and I'd like to extend to you an invitation to join us in Manchester on September 16th for an interesting panel discussion on some of the best practices we're seeing emerge here in North America around the gamification of business. The gamification of business is just a fancy word for applying game mechanics to the business context. And as simple as that might sound, we're seeing phenomenal benefits in terms of employee engagement, retention rates, even attraction rates, customer satisfaction, and ultimately productivity and performance. So let's take a look at why this is the case and what the solution might look like in brief. So the needs occur even here in the UK. I mean, here's what we know, that recent surveys indicate that at least 2/3 of our employees are disengaged at work. What does this mean? Well, a whole bunch of issues for you as a manager. Engaged employees take an average of 3 sick days, whereas disengaged are almost at 7. So the idea is we lose a whole bunch of just raw time. But here's what we also know. We know that disengaged managers are 3 times more likely to disengage their employees and have disengaged employees. Now, that's not bad enough. What we do know is 30% of employees recognize that their senior team actually don't care about their well-being. And this impacts their performance and productivity. So what's the real cost of this? Well, recent estimates indicate that it costs us in the UK about £30 billion of GDP in lost productivity. Now, that's not just from people booking off sick. That's from having to replace disengaged employees who've left, the loss of intellectual capital, and so forth. But here's an interesting statistics. They did some numbers and they said basically, if we take a look at Marks and Sparks, if they were to increase engagement from their lowest stores equivalent to their highest stores, that would represent an increase of about £104 million per year. So the cost of disengaged employees, even inside the same organization, is significant. So what's it mean in terms of the broader economy? Well, engaged employees are more willing to work, they're more passionate, they're more productive, they're more satisfied. In terms of hard numbers, what we know is we see an increased performance operating income of about 20% where we have high levels employees. And the opposite, where we have low levels employees, we see that we see actually a decline of about 33%. So overall, that means a 15% in employee engagement represents about a 2 1/3 increase in operating margin. So you can figure out what that means to you. So a 1% increase in employee commitment can lead to a monthly increase of about 10% in sales. So significant opportunities are there for all of us. So let's talk about what these are. I'm going to simplify what we've learned here in North America about gamification. The basic idea is this. What if our employees got better rewarded for success at strategy than they do at profit? In other words, if I move our strategy towards success, I effectively earn more points than if I earn more profitability. So now I can begin to make decisions moment to moment about things that don't necessarily have an immediate profit benefit. So think about, do I choose to spend my time developing this new product or working on selling the current product? If I earned 10 points for selling the current product and 500 points for the development, I'm going to work on the development. In other words, by applying something as simple as points, I can begin to represent my strategy and have people make decisions based on strategy, not the short-term needs of our financial results. So this is really poking at a broader concept, and that broader concept is, in today's world, employees are more motivated by intrinsic rewards than extrinsic. So intrinsic is the feeling of self-worth, etc. you have from working. Extrinsic is the amount of money we spend. So what if we could figure out how to make those intrinsic rewards more interesting? And our research has indicated there's basically 5 types of intrinsic reward that if we can hit, we can tremendously improve employee productivity and overall engagement. And they are, first off, autonomy. People want the ability to know what the success looks like and how they in their day-to-day operations can control their destiny while at the same time putting the pieces of the puzzle together, being part of the collective whole while operating autonomously. Mastery. I need the opportunity to learn and develop the skills in order to be successful at my job, and the opportunity to keep working on those towards my success. Purpose. I need to be clear about what it is I'm supposed to be doing for the organization and the success that that's going to create for both me and the organization. Progress. I need the ability to see moment to moment that I'm making progress and understand where I'm gaining and not gaining against my strategy execution. And then finally, social interaction. I need the opportunity to have risk-free conversations about performance so I can learn about how I'm performing at work, just like you do in any other team or game, and be able to learn from my colleagues to perform better. So we're going to be talking about these 5 concepts during the panel and begin revealing some ideas about how we can provide that ongoing feedback and gamification of business to help employees feel more engaged and empowered in their work life. We look forward to seeing you on September the 16th.